Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. I don't believe this. They've closed the case.
What case?
The Voodoo Murders case. The paper says that the police have learned that the murders were a result of an underworld cartel war, and that the war is over.
That's not good?
It's ridiculous. And what about the killers? And the voodoo angle, they never got anything on that.
I know you were into it, Gabriel, but if it's over, that's hardly a negative. Anyway, if you're that upset, why don't you talk it over with your pal Mosley?
You don't get it, Grace. Just forget it, okay? Peachy. Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo houndfall?
In New Orleans?
I think so.
No, I don't, but it sounds dangerous. You're not gonna try to find this voodoo group yourself, are you?
Would I do that? Do you have messages for me?
Your grandmother called. She said to remind you to stop by and go through your father's things.
Okay. Do you have messages for me?
That man from Germany called again, Wolfgang Ritter. Now he's claiming to be a relative of yours.
Interesting. Can I get that phone number for Wolfgang Ritter?
Sure, I'll give it to you when we're done talking. Here's that phone number.
Thanks. Didn't Grace say you had to dial 011 first to get international? Didn't Grace say you had to dial 011 first to get international? I'm not calling Germany. That Wolfgang Ritter guy says he's a relative, but I've never heard of him. I'm out of here. Try not to sell out the store while I'm gone.
Uh-huh.
Hey. Can I bother you again, officer?
What is it this time?
I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
He's in his office. Go on back.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo houndfall?
Hound... what?
Houndfall. It's a temple.
Sounds like somebody's pulling your leg on that one.
Knight, hate to tell you this, but you're out of a book. The Voodoo Murders case has been closed.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that. Son of a bitch. I have to tell you, bud, I'm pretty pissed off about this case being closed. You guys are making a big mistake.
Hey, I'm not any happier about it than you are, Knight, but I've got my orders.
Do you know anything about veves?
What?
Veves. They're ritualistic patterns used in voodoo. You know, like those marks we found around the body.
You know what the department says about that, Knight? That voodoo stuff is faked.
Yeah, well, they're wrong. These veves...
Look, just stop worrying about those marks. I don't think they're relevant.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
You mean gumbo?
No, I mean Damballa.
Never heard of it.
Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo houndfall?
Oh, come on. Somebody's pulling your leg, Knight.
Are you sure?
Ain't nothing secret about voodoo in Narlands. There's a museum, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but that's the stuff they want you to see.
You're getting mighty paranoid, Knight.
Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo houndfall?
I told you, you're nuts. Drop it.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
Say what?
Ogun Badagri. It's a voodoo loa.
Speak English or shut up, Knight.
Sorry, didn't mean to confuse you. Guess I'll take that as a no. What's the status on the voodoo murders case?
The case? What case? I told you, the Voodoo Murders case is closed.
How can you just close it? It's not solved, is it?
Oh, it's solved. Turns out the Chicago Mafia was trying to invade local territory. Use the Mississippi for drug running now that Florida's so hot. What we had here was a little resistance from the local businessmen. Word came in this morning that the Chicago group is giving up and pulling out of Nolans.
But that doesn't bring the killers to justice.
Well, the boys upstairs seem to figure it this way. Let the slime kill each other. Better the vermin we know than Chicago vermin, I guess. The attitude in the department is that we just been done a huge favor, and they're probably right.
What about the local cartel? Are you just gonna let them go?
At least they're part of us. We'll deal with them over time. Always have. Nolans is pretty clean that way, you know?
Well, that's the illusion, isn't it?
Look, I'm not totally in agreement here either. But what can I do? These guys are not about to get caught. I'm disappointed about the book too. Look, next big murder case I get, I'll call you in, and we'll do that one up right, okay? In fact, I could probably dig up some old cases, and you could spice them up.
No thanks. What's the status?
I told you.
How can I convince you to reopen the case?
Look, The department's not interested.
So, couldn't you make them interested?
With what? I got 7 bodies and still no leads. The voodoo angle's worthless, and besides, these people aren't hurting anybody but out-of-town drug dealers and hitmen.
The voodoo stuff is not worthless. It's the key to the whole thing. And these people are dangerous. They need to be stopped.
Okay, you want me to reopen this case? Prove what you just said.
What do you mean?
You need to prove that there's a legitimate voodoo cult in Narland. Prove that they're a threat. Get me a lead on the cult.
How can I...
I already... You still... Prove that they're a threat. Get me a lead on the cult.
Are those new shoes? What are those, loafers? Kind of a mud-brown suede kind of thing?
Hey, I'm on my feet all day, all right? Is that okay with you?
Mostly. I'm being perfectly sincere.
Yeah, you and my grandmother. Right.
You know those marks you found around the murder victims? This is a reconstruction of the whole pattern.
What makes you think this is an accurate reconstruction?
Well, I borrowed the partial patterns from your police file and did my own tracing of the pattern at Lake Pontchartrain. An architectural artist reconstructed it for me from the partials.
Really? So this is the whole pattern, huh? That's pretty good work, Knight. But that doesn't prove that this pattern is really connected to voodoo.
This is a newspaper clipping about a murder committed in 1810. That murder is an exact match of the voodoo murders, right down to the marks around the bodies.
This does sound like the same MO. 1810.
1810. They killed then, they're killing now. Isn't that proof that they're likely to kill again? Or that they are a threat?
Sure, if there is a voodoo cult, they're a threat.
Can I ask you about some...
You're the writer.
How can I...
I already told you. You still need to prove that there's a legitimate voodoo cult in Narland. Get me a lead on the cult.
I'm gonna hit the road.
Ciao, baby.
What's up?
Buddy, I think the place you're looking for is down on the bourbon.
Able was I ere I saw Elba. Could I ask you a few questions?
Sure, I'm not too busy at the moment.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? Don't believe in it myself. I invented a drink once called Laveau's Tomb, but it wasn't very popular. Some people do believe, though. Even some of our regulars here at Napoleon House.
What do you know about...
It's all over the papers. Some kind of serial killings.
What do you know?
They say a lot of voodoo stuff is...
What do you know?
Everybody's talking about them. It's starting to scare off the tourists.
What can you tell?
Greatest city in the world. I never want to live anywhere else.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
This city must get about 1 million tourists a year, especially around Mardi Gras.
What can you...
A lot of people come here because they think it's mysterious. All that talk about voodoo.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
You should probably find a book on the subject, you know?
What's the significance?
All I know is it's some kind of voodoo holiday.
What's the significance?
People who believe in that stuff think it's a real special night. Magical.
Do you know anything about snakes?
What about them?
No, just anything.
You ask the weirdest questions. I don't know anything about snakes.
Have you ever heard of Marie Laveau?
Sure. She's kind of the patron saint of voodoo in New Orleans. Don't know too much about her, but the tourists sure get off on all that stuff.
Have you ever heard of Marie?
There's a voodoo museum in town. They'd know more about it than I do.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Come Mardi Gras, you see all kinds of masks in here.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? No, I prefer not to think about that kind of stuff, personally. Crime, perversion, weirdos. Just makes me depressed.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
Never heard of it.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
Never heard of it.
Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
Are you kidding? Around here? Hope they aren't serving drinks.
Well, if they are, I don't think anyone in his right mind would want one. Does the phrase Caprice encore mean anything to you?
Never heard of it.
Tell me about yourself.
A good bartender listens to other people's life stories without telling his own.
Tell me about the street musicians around here.
I like music as much as the next guy, but they get pretty monotonous sometimes, you know? Like that drummer right outside. They say there's been a drummer outside Napoleon House since the day it opened. Now, I like drums, but this character really gets on my nerves. It sounds like the same thing over and over. I just want to say enough already.
Sounds like my life. Tell me about the...
Don't know what else I could say.
Hi, how's it going?
It's been worse.
Business picking up?
Some, mostly locals, as usual.
You ever get tired of tending bar for a living?
Never thought much about doing anything else.
What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
See those old guys at the chess table? That's Sam and Marcus. They've played there every day for 20 years. Sam, the one with the purple jacket, he's lost every one of those games. It's not that he's a bad player. I've seen him beat guys twice as good as Marcus. But Marcus has Sam so psyched out, he loses his nerve every time. By the way, Sam, the chess player, he's into that voodoo stuff. He's always talking about spells and gree-gree and such.
Really? Thanks. What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
This crowd, the ones you see, are mostly regulars. That guy and girl in the corner come here a lot. When they're not fighting, they're all over each other. In other words, they're in love.
What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
I'd call you a regular, Gabe. And one of our local writer celebrities, too. Been coming in here, what, 10 years now?
Oh, don't remind me.
We're still waiting for that bestseller.
Don't hold your breath. What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
That's about all I can say about this crowd.
So what has Sam told you about voodoo?
Well, about 50 years ago, Sam was too shy to talk to this pretty girl he was in love with. He went to a voodoo-ien and had her make him a love charm. It was a little pouch that he had to bury under the girl's front porch. Well, he buried the pouch, and the next day he went up and talked to the girl. And sure enough, she didn't reject him. Now she's his wife, poor guy.
So what has Sam told you about voodoo?
That's about all I can remember.
Sorry to bother you, but could I ask you a few questions?
I'm not the chatty type, am I, Sam?
No, you old bastard, you're not.
Besides, I'm busy sucking poor old Sam dry. Go bug someone else.
You're a real sweetheart, Marcus, you bastard.
Excuse me, I hate to interrupt your game, but could I ask you a few questions?
What game? This ain't a game, it's a slaughter.
He's right, you know. So let me die in peace, would you?
You come here a lot, don't you?
Every ever-loving day of my life for 20 years.
You come here a lot, don't you?
Every ever-loving day of...
Can I ask you some questions?
No. Now, do you mind?
Kinda cute. They aren't mine. Hey, Crash, wait up. That's Crash. What the hell is he up to with that drummer? Huh, Crash and the drummer. Interesting. Hey there, nice beat. I dig it.
Come on, boys, hoopla!
Not a bad idea. Baby, I love the way you move. Yep, she wants me.
Thanks, boys.
Madam Lorelei, is it?
What can I do for you, handsome?
How's business?
How's business? I have no time for such dull conversation, darling.
Could you just do a short reading for an intimate friend?
Darling, you toy with me. If I thought you were serious, but no, I must stay firm.
That's a nice snake you have there.
Oh, I could say the same of you.
Well, I know where I got mine. Where'd you get yours?
That's personal.
I'd really like to know more about that snake.
Oh, sorry, sweetie, but I don't discuss Elvis with anyone.
I think this veil belongs to you.
Oh, my veil! I'm always losing those things. You have no idea. Well, darling, you're such a sweetie to return a lady's delicates, and so handsome as well.
Well,
And since you have such a clear interest in fortune-telling, let me see your hands. They look so strong. Perhaps they will make both our fortunes clear, no?
I wish something would.
Strong, yes, and yet so delicate and flexible.
You don't know the half of it.
Oh, good. I see a mysterious woman in your immediate future. She is a dangerous one, dark and beautiful. Oh, I see the road of your life forking, and very soon.
Are you okay?
There are forces. Oh God, beware! Beware!
What is it about me lately? I need to talk to you. Ask you some questions.
No way, man. I'm too sick. Go away.
Come on. I have to know what you know about these voodoo people.
You don't know nothing about nothing, man. You are so far out of it, you wouldn't understand anything. Just like that friend of yours, Mosley. Go away.
I'm not like Mosley. I know more than you think I do. I'll believe you.
Oh, forget it, man. It's not worth my breath.
Come on, talk to me.
I'm just too sick to waste my time. Go away!
Do you recognize this?
No. Oh, don't waste my time.
Do you recognize this?
No. Oh, don't waste my time.
Do you recognize this?
No. Oh, don't waste my time.
Come on, talk to me.
I'm just too sick to waste my time. Go away!
Mind if I pick your brain a minute?
Go ahead. These folks ain't in no hurry.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
I don't know nothing about that.
Hey, kids!
Bruno, how nice.
Gee, a customer.
Of yours? Hardly.
How's the flower business?
Well, better than the used book business, I see.
Rare books.
That explains why I so rarely see anyone in here. Are you gonna sell me that wonderful painting of yours today?
How much would you give me for it?
Oh, you're serious? You'll let me have it?
Gabriel, don't you dare sell your father's painting.
Yeah, I'll let you have it all right. How much for the painting?
Well, I could give you 100. That's all I can let go at the moment, you know. My affairs are so tied up.
Gabriel, $100 for your father's painting?
Stay out of this, Grace. Forget it, Bruno. Not for 100. Not now.
Have it your way. The 100 goes with me. I'll be back, though. I can see how much you want it.
Yeah, well, I'll show you wanting it.
Careful. You don't want to damage the door with your incredible wit.
What a wacky offbeat kind of guy Daddy was. Peachy. It's no use. I can't sleep.
Hey, kids.
Bruno.
Gabe, pet, I just popped in to see if you're desperate enough to sell me that painting.
Gee, is today the day that hell freezes over?
Well, one needn't be rude.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Do you have...
I've...
I'm going out.
Don't hurry back on my account.
Gabriel, I'm so glad you stopped by.
Oh, sorry it's been a while, Grandma.
Not at all. Give me a kiss.
Now, come on, sit down. Tell me how you're doing. How have you been, Gran?
Just fine, dear. I'm sorry I bothered you at work, but, I was hoping you'd get a chance to go through your father's things in the attic.
Don't be silly. You can call me anytime. What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? What an odd question, Gabriel. Of course, you always were interested in monster movies and all that other weird stuff. You get that from your father and granddad. I don't know anything about it, dear. Of course, it was very big in New Orleans at one time, but you don't hear so much about it these days. Too much else in the world to worry about, I guess.
What can you...
Oh, Gabriel, nothing. And I don't want to. I sometimes wonder what this world is coming to.
What can you tell me about...
New Orleans is very southern, of course, though not as much as it used to be when I was a girl. It's gotten much more influenced by the East Coast and that California stuff. Still, it hasn't changed as much as other places, I reckon. We've always been happy here.
What can...
My goodness, boy, you lived here all your life, just like me. I can't tell you much that you don't already know.
What can you tell...
St. John's Eve? I remember when I was a girl, we always had a St. John's Eve Mass. The Mass was said at midnight, and we held candles. One time, on the way home, we were waylaid by a large group of drunken revelers. They didn't hurt us, but oh, I was frightened. My father was furious. We never went to St. John's Eve Mass after that.
What can you...
I haven't celebrated it in years, Gabriel. I'm sure there's still Mass in the more traditional churches, but I don't go.
Have you ever...
Marie Laveau. Oh, of course. She was that voodoo woman, wasn't she? She preyed on people's fears and superstitions, is what I think. There are always those willing to take other people's money for nothing. You stay away from people like that, Gabriel.
Yes, Gran. Do you know anything about...
Snakes? What kind of snakes, dear?
Oh, I don't know, local kinds.
Well, we used to get cottonmouths in the park when I was a girl, but I haven't heard of one being sighted for years. Milk snakes and garter snakes are also around these parts, but they can't hurt you.
Thanks, Gran. Do you know anything about animal masks?
Why, no, dear. Do you mean Mardi Gras masks?
Never mind, Gran. Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
Gabriel, my goodness. What are you up to these days?
Oh, nothing, Gran, really.
You'd better not be. You know you're the only family I have left.
I know, Gran. It's okay. Does the phrase Cabri Sanko mean anything to you?
Something without something, I think. Oh, my French is so rusty, I swear my mind is going.
No, it's okay. Thanks. Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
What, dear?
Never mind. Have you ever heard of Dambala?
What, dear?
Never mind. You know, you get prettier every time I see you.
Oh, you.
Have you baked any of your incredible molasses pies lately?
No, dear. But you let me know when you want some and I'll whip up a half a dozen.
Tell me about yourself.
Me? Surely you have something more interesting to talk about.
No, come on, Gran.
Oh, all right, dear. What do you want to hear?
What do you do all day?
You know how I love to knit and work in my garden. I also take long walks. It's the only way to keep an old body like mine from stiffening up.
You're not old.
Oh, don't be foolish. I'm older than the hills.
Tell me about before you met Granddaddy.
Well, you know I was born Rebecca Wright. My daddy owned a lot of land outside of town. We grew peas and corn and cotton, all kinds of things. It was a good childhood, but my father was very strict. He didn't much let me out of his sight.
Tell me how you met Granddaddy.
Oh, I met Harrison at a church revival. There was a traveling preacher back then, a big fella named Reverend Jim. I even remember his slogan, "Come to me to find your way." Your granddad was sitting right behind me and my girlfriend, Alma. And at one point, old Reverend Jim was flinging his hair around with his fine brimstone annex. And a piece of it, one of those small add-on do's for men, went flying off. I swear, Harrison and I were the only ones that noticed. We both started laughing to beat the band. Everyone looked at us like we were a couple of loonies. Oh, it was then I knew that he was for me.
How you feeling these days?
Fit as a fiddle, and don't you worry your head about it.
Just tell me anything at all.
I had your father when I was 22. The doctors told me I couldn't have any more after him, so I'm afraid I spoiled him rotten.
Just tell me anything at all.
I hate to admit it, but I was a jealous little thing when your granddaddy and I were younger. I loved him so ferociously, and he did attract the eyes of the ladies whether he wanted to or not.
Just tell me.
I get lonely sometimes, but I have lots of girlfriends in the neighborhood. I call one of them if I'm feeling blue.
Just tell me.
I wish you'd settle down and give me a great-grandchild.
Oh, Gran. Just tell me anything at all.
I never loved any man but your grandfather. And I never will.
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
All right, dear.
What's new, Gran?
I've been working on baby sweaters for the church bazaar. Keeps me busy.
Tell me about our family.
Who would you like to hear about? Your granddad, your father, or your mother?
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad immigrated to America when he was 21. He walked his way through school, met and married me, and we had your father, Philip.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad supported me and your father with bookkeeping. Oh, I tell you what, though, he hated every minute of it. Didn't really like bookkeeping one bit. Maybe that was why he had the worst luck with jobs. Oh, the nights he'd come home afraid to tell me he lost another. And I'd tell him it didn't matter to me, but he felt ashamed, Gabriel.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Harrison was only 36 when he died. Your father was 8 years old at the time. Your granddad was hit by a streetcar in the business district. It took me nearly a year to believe he was really gone.
I'm sorry, Gran.
Oh, I know you are, dear.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Did you know that your granddad was a poet? He was. He wrote the most beautiful poetry for me when we were courting. I always thought he should have done something with that gift, but he was such a practical man, didn't believe in chasing after dreams.
Tell me about my father.
Your father was my only child. How we adored him.
Tell me about my father.
Philip suffered from terrible nightmares, just like your granddad did. Oh, they were two peas in a pod.
Tell me about my father.
When Philip met your mother, oh, it was love at first sight. They were married 2 weeks later. Never looked at a girl seriously until then, and he looked at plenty. You have your father's way with women, Gabriel. And your granddad's.
Tell me about my father.
I wanted to just lay down and die when he and your mother were killed in that car crash when you were only 8. It was the thought of taking care of you that kept me going, Gabriel. The police say your father swerved off the road after being frightened by something. Perhaps a deer in the road, or wildcat.
Tell me about my father.
Your granddad wanted Philip to have a normal life. He was obsessed by that thought. He pushed Philip to go to law school, but Philip was driven to art. He painted almost in a daze. He would get so inside himself when he worked.
Tell me about my father.
He always hated that it was Margaret's money that supported the 3 of you when his painting couldn't. I kept telling him, try something more cheerful, like a landscape or two, but he couldn't do it. His work was just too dark and disturbing for the public, you know.
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother was Margaret Templeton when your father met her. She came from a very wealthy Creole family in New Orleans. She was beautiful and reckless. She was madly in love with your father, of course, but I also think she liked to find her family. Since you're so interested in family history these days, why don't you go by St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 and visit the family tomb? It would be such a sweet gesture.
It's just past the Ross tomb, right? Oh, maybe I will. Tell me about my mother.
Your mother's family refused to give her money after the marriage. All she had left was a modest trust fund from her great aunt, who happened to like Philip. The remainder of your mother's trust fund became yours when she died. That's what you used to open your bookshop.
Tell me about my mother.
The Templetons are all gone now. Every last one of them. Oh, they never wanted anything to do with us, of course. What a waste.
You've lost weight. Are you courting a new man?
Oh, Gabriel, don't be silly. You know there'll never be anyone but your granddad for me.
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
All right, dear.
I'm gonna go up to the attic, Gran.
Be careful of the dust.
I think I'll leave that up here. I think I'll leave that up here. I think I'll leave that up here. There's nothing I want in there. It looks pretty heavy. There's a lot of Granddad's old stuff in here. Might be something interesting. What's this? It's some sort of key. Aren't those called lederhosen? Just what I need. Aren't those called lederhosen? I think I'll leave that up here. Granddaddy, you old fox. It's Granddaddy's old golf bag. Golf was never my game. I'm not sure what my game was, but it wasn't golf. My first impression of the female form. Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
That one in the middle is your grandfather. Those other two, oh, I don't know.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
No, dear. I'm afraid I don't speak a word of German.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
Sorry, no, Gabriel.
Well, Gran, I'd better get going.
Thanks for stopping by.
No problem. Love you, Gran.
Hey, kids.
Bruno.
Gabe, pet, I just popped in to see if you're desperate enough to sell me that painting.
How much would you give me for it?
Oh, you're serious? You'll let me have it?
Gabriel, don't you dare sell your father's painting.
Yeah, I'll let you have it, all right. How much for the painting?
Well, I could give you 100. That's all I can let go at the moment, you know. My affairs are so tied up.
Gabriel, $100 for your father's painting?
Stay out of this, Grace. Fine. It's yours.
Gabriel!
Here's the 100.
You better take good care of this, Bruno. This is not just another of your hip art pieces, you know.
Really? Well, I fully intend to make the most of its display. Though not for your sake, I'm sure. At least in my shop, there'll be a chance of someone actually seeing it. I can't believe I actually got it. Just wait until I show Sid.
I don't believe you.
It's just a painting, Grace. There are things I have to do. Drei Drachen kriegen in meinen Schlaf, die Seele wollen sie lebendig zum Fraß. Feurigen Atems, gespaltener Zunge, genießen sie jedes Mal. Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No. Is that a voodoo word?
I don't think so. It's German.
No, sorry. I don't speak German.
Didn't Grace say you had to dial 011 first to get international? I'm not calling Germany. That Wolfgang Ritter guy says he's a relative, but I've never heard of him. Didn't Grace say you had to dial 011 first to get international?
Hello, See the World Travel Agency. How may I help you?
What are your specials?
Well, our least expensive trip is 4 days, 3 nights in St. Croix for $1,250. Of course, we have much nicer packages available.
Well, that's certainly special. How much for a trip to the Caribbean?
Well, our least expensive trip is 4 days, 3 nights in St. Croix for...
I'm sure your packages are astonishing, but that's out of my league.
Is there something else I can help you with?
Sorry, wrong number.
Thank you. Goodbye.
I've got some things I need to do.
Good luck.
Hi.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you just a few more questions?
Whatever, man.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo houndfall?
There's no such thing. Not around here.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Man, I don't even know what language that is.
Would you take 50 for Willie Jr.?
Don't insult me, monsieur. The price is $120.
What? You said you'd sell it for 100 before.
You misheard, monsieur. The price was always 120.
Would you take 50 for Willie Jr.?
Don't insult me, monsieur. The price is $120.
What? You said you'd sell it for 100 before.
You misheard, monsieur. The price was always 120.
These are Grant's folks. I never knew them. These are Grant's folks. I never knew them. Grant's sister. She died young. Granddaddy. My mother. Daddy. Not sure who else comes here besides me and Gran, but that was nice of them. How's it going, Granddaddy? Hey, Daddy. Miss you, Mom. Oh, shoot. Huh. Looks like someone left something in that vase. Hi. I'm Rebecca's grandson. Looks like it's my lucky day. Hi. I'm Rebecca's grandson. Gran talks a lot about you, Harley. Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could return to us, Mr. Knight.
Could I ask you some more questions?
Of course. I also find our dialogue stimulating.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo houndfall?
Don't be ridiculous, Mr. Knight. The voodoo churches in the city have no need for secrecy.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No, I have not.
Goodbye, Dr. John.
Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
Hi.
Mm-hmm.
I have $120. You still want to sell that crocodile mask?
That's 120 sure enough. That mask is yours, sir. Here you go. Careful it don't bite you now.
Yeah, thanks.
Now don't you go forgetting your lagniappe. A free bottle of Master Gambling Oil.
The sign said I could get Lady Luck Oil instead.
Well, I was thinking a man as young as you wouldn't be needing that kind of remedying. But, if you's having problems with your,
That's all right. Believe me, I don't need it. I'll just stick with this. Thanks anyway.
'Cause it ain't none of my business if you do need it now, huh?
I don't need it.
Oh, of course you don't.
Got a second, Sam? It's about your game.
I don't have a game, that's my problem. Don't you touch those chess pieces while I'm gone, bastard.
I ain't never needed to cheat yet, you loser.
Thought you might be interested in this gambling oil.
Let me see that. Master Gambling Oil. What's it for?
Don't you ever wonder why Marcus wins every time?
Whoa, hold it. You really think Marcus uses this stuff?
Would I make something like that up?
Get out of here. Marcus would never use something like this.
Well, if that's what you want to believe. This is a powerful voodoo oil.
Ah, go on. Really?
This voodoo oil could make a nun get lucky.
Really? You think it really works, huh?
I'd stake my reputation as a novelist on it.
And you say Marcus uses this? That explains a lot. Let me see that bottle. This looks authentic.
Oh, it is.
If I could really beat that bastard. Stonewall, give me a Pim's cup, would you?
Coming up, Sam.
How much you think I ought to put in here?
Careful, you don't want to overdo it. Too much luck can be dangerous.
Ha! There's no such thing as too much. Now stand back.
Come on already, I'm ready to checkmate.
We'll see about that, Mr. Smarty Big Mouth. Checkmate! Checkmate, you bastard!
Son of a bitch.
20 years I've been waiting to say that. Checkmate! Checkmate! Checkmate!
You are the biggest butthead, Sam Singleton, that I have ever met.
Checkmate!
You can just put that chessboard where the sun don't shine.
Hallelujah! I did it! Yippee!
Nice game.
Nice game. Hell, I was brilliant. Course, I gotta give some of the credit to that oil of yours. I've been losing to that guy for 20 years. If you ever need a favor, you come to Sam, you hear?
Will do. Could you do anything with this?
What is this, a clay mold? Well, I am a jeweler, you know. And I owe you one. Would you like me to cast this for you?
If you can.
You got it, pal. Actually, it'll be a pleasure to get my tools out. First time in years. I've been too busy playing that goddamn game. I'll have the bracelet later today. Right now, I feel like I could do anything. Meet me here in a few hours.
Great, thanks.